Hello, John. Good to see you. Let me see if I'm connected. Looks like I am. I'm gonna carve and maybe I'm gonna talk about something. By the way, that piece I'm working on, it is second piece. The first piece is right here, right behind me. So that is just the opposite side of it. Okay, let me see if somebody else connected. Let me see if somebody else connected. Just let me know if you can hear me okay, if you can see me okay. Right. I just came back last week pretty much from state of Maine. Well, it's actually not true. I just came back a couple days from Chicago. But before that, I was in a state of Maine. State of Maine, it was a first time for me. A good experience. Beautiful state. I love it. It actually reminds me a lot Russia, okay, the place I grew up. The same trees, lots of birch. That's really surprising. Okay, for me at least, because it's not too many birch trees in Florida. There's actually none of them. But in state of Maine, there's lots of birch trees, same flowers, same trees, same like in Russia, all right? The place I grew up. So for those of you who just connecting, let me repeat myself. The piece I'm working on, it is a second piece. I'm finishing up pretty much. There's lots of cleanup needs to be done, and I'm working on the back side. So just removing what I don't need, and the way I do, just attack that from the back side. It's pretty much undercutting from the back side. It makes it a lot easier if I can access it and remove excess material on the back side. But anyway, I was in state of Maine for a week, and we had a beautiful, beautiful group of people, really nice group of people. Okay, let me see if everybody's connected. Can you see me on the YouTube? Can you see me on the Facebook? If you on Facebook, just please let me know if sound is okay, if picture is okay, the quality of sound, quality of picture is good. If you're on YouTube, the same way, just let me know, please, in the chat. Now, if you are watching me on the Twitch, also just let me know if everything works fine. If you're watching me on Twitter, the same way. But I'm really glad to see all of you. I know it was kind of long time I didn't show up. There was a reason, because I'm still working on that piece. Okay, so I'm still and I'm way behind. Okay, so you know all about those deadlines and so on. And if I'm away teaching, even if I didn't schedule a lot this year, but it's still every time when I teach in person, it, it takes about a week away. Okay, plus when you come back, you feel like you need some rest, but really I can't afford rest, so I really need to keep going. Right, I need to keep going. I was teaching, like I said, in person in state of Maine. William Brown, he is a really, really known person in the furniture making world. So he writes the articles and so on. He started a new school, new woodworking, furniture making, and wood carving school in person. Okay, and this year my class was the first It was the first class ever, so I had that privilege. And if you're gonna watch me, Bill, I really do appreciate for inviting me. We had a really interesting project, which I know for fact, for some of you, it's kinda hard, and you can't even imagine what we are able to do in 1 week. In 1 week in person class. James, good to see you. Okay, thank you very much for letting me know. Facebook is no problem. Okay, so let me see how many people. So I did not send any emails. I don't want to bug people all the time about the live stream. I hope YouTube and Facebook will send it automatically. But let me show to you what we've been able to accomplish. Okay, so let me show that to you. Just one moment. All right, so I'll find it and I'll show it to you. So here you go. That is what we worked on. So that is what we worked on. It is a canthus. It is a canthus, not just a canthus, but it is Byzantine, okay, Byzantine style acanthus, which is a little different from normal, what you understand when you say an acanthus leaf, okay? So, and like I said before many times, people don't sometimes realize there's lots of different acanthuses, okay? Lots of different acanthuses. I even have some acanthuses on this project, but they are different, okay? So this project is Venice or Venetian style acanthus. It takes Venetian style acanthus, and it's different from a Byzantine style. Byzantine style, what we worked on. So the Byzantine style made for the gold leafing. So it's made for it. By the way, I really want to thank Bill for letting me record the whole process. Okay, so I've got the videos of that Byzantine acanthus, and I already edited that, and it's available on my online school, which is schoolofwoodcarving.com. You should be able to see right on the bottom of the screen. So like, right on the bottom, schoolofwoodcarving.com. So that is available right there. Okay, the whole process, like in person. Of course, it's not replacing in all. It's not replacing in all the experience in person. Okay, it's not the same. Okay, let me see. Thank you very much for the really nice comments. Oh, by the way, don't forget. I mean, you can. I mean, you can comment in the chat, and I'll try to catch up with some of the comments. But like I said, I do have a whole process recorded online, and that's available already. The whole acanthus leaf, Byzantine acanthus leaf, but it's by no means it's replacing in-person experience. It's different. Okay, when you're spending the whole week pretty much in a beautiful, beautiful space with a group of people you never knew before, but you becoming like a friends pretty much. And if you're gonna watch, one of you at least gonna watch that, who attended that class, just comment that is, I'm not making this up. So that is a great experience. Great experience. And that, of course, like I said, I recorded everything, but not 100%. The acanthus leaf, yes, I did. Acanthus leaf, I did record. Also, what I did record the process of design. Okay, and design and wood carving is a really important subject. So it's actually more important than carving itself, in my opinion, of course. So it's even more important than wood carving itself. Well, wood carving is important, but design, that's what most of the people struggle. By the way, you don't need to become a professional in design if your goal is just to be a good woodcarver. Not necessarily you have to learn the design. All right, it's just like same in music world. Exactly the same idea. In music, there's two groups of people: musicians, and they could be a master, like the highest level of musician, and he plays, all types of. And I really love classical music, and just sometimes it's just so amazing. Some people can do. I mean, musicians, but they play pre-designed music, which we call the second group, composers. Okay, they actually design, if you put in that term, the music that other musicians will play for years to come. Same in wood carving. If you are a wood carver, you really don't have to be a composer. So you don't need to work on a composition of what you work on. Nowadays, you can pretty much just print anything, find any picture online, Pinterest, or just Google, make that pattern. And I mean, I'm talking about just to print that, glue it, or just to draw on a piece of wood and carve it. Okay, and you can become a really good carver, really good carver. But if you want to take a next step and become a better in something, I think it's a good idea to understand how the design works. And yes, I am actually taking to the depth pretty much. I was talking the whole Monday, the whole day pretty much, just talking about the design. And some of you who took some classes with me and I was talking about the design previously, that is a really interesting comment. Hello, I work like this sculpture. Can we communicate on Facebook? Absolutely. I mean, just message me. There's a messenger. You can message me, and if it's going to be a good message, I'll reply. Guys, don't just send me hi, hello, how are you? I'm doing okay. Okay, I'm doing fine. I'm doing wonderful. So I'm not going to reply. I'm getting too many, I would say, messages without any relevant content in it. But anyway, so what I'm talking about, if you took class with me previously, like in other schools, in Mark Adams School of Woodworking, or in Tampa, when I'm talking about design, I can talk for hours. For hours. My take on design, I'm really serious about it. It's like the most important part of wood carving. Like I said, there's a lot of different people. Just matter of fact, just a few days ago, I consider this person as a friend of mine, although I never met the person. I never met the guy. So, but he's a wood carver and a really good wood carver, I would say. So he carves, he does some commission work and so on. And he uses Facebook Messenger, by the way. He always asks me questions and we communicate. Whenever he buys some new tools or some book and so on, and I really do appreciate that. And he said to me, "Hey," he said, "I'm a good carver. I'm I can carve pretty much anything," and I can agree with that. Yes, he is a really good carver, but the area of struggle is design, composition. And what I see the problem when you go even in a school nowadays, it doesn't matter what country you're gonna go to school, United States or any other countries, they water down lots of principles. Yeah, I mean, some of the schools still talk about golden ratio, but golden ratio is just one element of the design. It doesn't answer the question why you should follow the golden ratio. Besides, in any composition, in any work, there's most of the time 4 spots you can call a golden spot. Okay, 4 spots in any composition, in any rectangle. My question is why you have 4 spots, and why is the only one is really important. So another question, which one? Okay, which one is the most important? Which one you suppose out of 4 to, you have to choose? Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Then, I'm talking about the movements. Is it supposed to go from the right to left, left to the right, the main movement, and so on? Like if you look at this composition, so you can see there's a main movement going on. But again, my goal is to answer why. Why you're supposed to go certain way in one design composition, and you're gonna go opposite direction, let's say, in another composition. All right, so that is the question. That is the really good question. And like I said before, we recorded. I've got the whole process we taped, if you understand that better. We taped the whole process of design and me explaining it. And now for the members of my school, only for the members of my school, it is available. So it's not going to be available publicly. I'm not going to do that on YouTube. It's not going to be fair to those people who have been in a school. It's not going to be fair to William Brown. By the way, his school, let me show you his school. I'm going to be 2 times, all right, next year. That would be maincoastworkshop.com. maincoastworkshop.com. I'm going to teach 2 times next summer in William Brown's school. Beautiful, beautiful place. Absolutely gorgeous place. Oh, by the way, I probably should mention to you, I will be teaching next month in July in Mark Adams. So there's going to be 2 classes. I'm going to teach classical design, not classical design, classical wood carving. And the second is going to be wood carving for the furniture makers, like really low relief Chippendale. It's not necessarily Chippendale, but somewhat like a Chippendale style. It's going to be in Mark Adams School of Woodworking. And I do appreciate Mark also because the whole reason why I'm teaching in all, that's because Mark invited me to teach a few years ago. And now I'm teaching all the time, pretty much right there, multiple times. Next year, I'm going to be multiple times in Mark's school. So there's going to be like 5 classes next year. I'm going to be also in Maine a couple times. And I'm going to be in Tampa also teaching wood carving. If you like Florida, and it's going to be full time. In Tampa, it's going to be end of October 2022 next year. So, and if you want to take classes with me, it's probably a good idea to contact those people right away, pretty much. Tampa and Maine and so on. Okay, let me get rid of Mark Adams School. I'm going to continue to carve. Let me see what I've got. Questions. Richard, thank you very much. Alex, it's beautiful. What percentage of completion are you with this project? Yeah, I, that project should be done long time ago. Okay, it's a good question, but it's embarrassing. So I'm way behind. I still have to do columns. It's going to be like, I think it's like 4 columns. I still have to do some sides. There's going to be some other compositions and so on. I'm not sure if I'm going to film all the process, by the way, but I'm way behind. I'm way behind. Again, just because, I have to travel and teach. And the filming process and editing process also takes some time, and you know it slows me down somewhat. That's why the second piece I'm working on, I didn't record anything. The first piece, yes, I mean the whole process is actually available in schoolofwoodcarving.com. So the whole process, the whole step by step, if you're a member of my school, so it is available. And but the second piece I'm just doing without recording. It just makes it a lot quicker. And I'm still editing the first piece, and every week I just put new videos and so on. Okay, let me see. Paul is asking, any classes in Pacific Northwest? I just was in Seattle like a month ago or so, but it was for different reasons. I love Seattle, by the way, Washington State, especially. I like the Germantown, Leavenworth. Man, that was beautiful experience. I really love. It's just like being in Europe, in Alps. Like in Germany. It's called Germantown. The name of it, it's Leavenworth. Maybe I'm mispronouncing it, but I love. I really love Seattle, and not only Seattle, like I said, the nature and so on. I just don't like too much rain, but it's okay. I can survive. Now, but I didn't teach there. The reason why, I have no idea. I have absolutely no knowledge of any schools in on the Pacific side. It's not only for the Washington, Oregon, but also in California. That question was asked me. I mean, some people asked me many times, but I don't know anybody, and I'm not advertising. I'm not trying to reach no schools. So now, if you do have a school, and if you think that school will benefit from from me teaching there, so please contact those schools and just to let them know about me, and they can call me, and that's how actually that's the only way I do. If the school contacts me, if they if all the conditions are fine. I'm not talking about money, by the way. It's all about what's going on in the world right now. For example, I had to refuse one of the schools in August. I don't want to go in August. Well, I'm not going to go in one of the schools in August just because of some of the reasons, okay, which nothing to do with money whatsoever. So it's different reasons. It's about COVID and so on, okay, and some restrictions. So I don't want to get too deep in it, but please. So by no means, I would love to come. But what I was trying to say, the whole process of design, what I was teaching in that school in Maine, Williams Brown's school, is recorded and available on schoolofwoodcarving.com. There's a lot, okay. I've got only 3 videos right now edited, but there's going to be a lot because I was talking for many hours, and I already covered I edited the golden ratio, beginning of the golden ratio. But like I said, I'm trying to answer the question why, okay. One of 4 spots, there's 4 spots on any rectangle or any space which you can call a golden spot, or the main idea, the whole subject, or the whole gist of what you're working on. But why one of those 4 spots is the most important? But what you do with those 3 spots remaining? So that's what I'm answering on my school site. there's an idea like a conflict in design. You probably don't even know about it, but yes, I mean everything in the nature based on a conflict. Even I mentioned about, let me show it to you if I can find it quickly. Spolting, okay, right here. So I've got spolted mallet. If you don't know what the spolting means, let me show that closer to you. That is a spolted mallet. See all those colors, some pinkish color right there, some greenish color, some greenish right here. There's some bluish color, but you can see like a black lines, okay, between spolted area, the black lines. And you can see, let's say this area takes a lot more versus, that area. There's another black line right here. It's like a border, okay? And that happens in nature. In nature, uh, and when you're designing something, for me, it's important to understand why those two fungus fighting each other. What's the conflict behind? Because those two different colors, the pinkish color and the greenish color, it's just the two different funguses or fungus, okay, whatever, the mushrooms, but on a microscopic level. So they fighting each other. And who's the main guy? Who's the secondary guy? Who's the hero? Who's the antagonist? That's what I'm talking about in design. When you're talking about the design, it happens the same thing. There's a main guy, there's an antagonist. I mean, like in movies, there's a hero, there's anti-hero, and who's the main guy, who's not? Okay. What about other two people? Let's say in a picture. Usually, like I said, there's a 4 spots usually in a design. But let's say one of them is going to be the main guy, another one is going to be against that main guy. But what about other two? How they relate to each other? And I go in depth, just explaining that the process of design. And that's really important. Who's going to be getting that design? Who's going to look at that design? That's also really important. What I'm talking about. Let's say if in my case I'm doing it in exchange for compensation for wages, which I think it's okay because the most beautiful work in the history was done for money, in exchange for money. I mean, think about Leonardo da Vinci, think about Michelangelo, Green Gibbons. They all done beautiful work in exchange for money. And I think if Green Gibbons wouldn't have any customers, nobody would even know about him, okay? So he wouldn't even make the beautiful things. But what I'm talking about, customers are different. Some of them coming from Middle East. And yes, I do have some customers from Middle East. Some of my customers coming from China, all the way from there. Some of my customers live in the United States. Some of my customers in South America. And some of my customers European, okay, from Europe. And my question is, do you understand? We all different, okay? The guy from Europe, he looks at the things and he calls beautiful something. Like, let's say he looks at the picture and he's saying, oh, that is a beautiful, let's say in my case, it's a beautiful wood carving. I love that. But the guy from Middle East, his brain works absolutely differently. Okay, so he looks at the piece and he's saying, well, it would look much better if you just twist that opposite direction. And I'm teaching that in the principles of design for wood carving, which applicable not only to wood carving, but in a whole world of art. And like I said, the whole process is filmed. The whole process is filmed. But it's important. It's important. It's important. Like I said in the beginning of this video, in the beginning of this live stream, it's just like in a world of music, okay? It's amazing, but it's still, there's the two groups of people, just musicians and composers. Let's say Mozart, he had a chance to be just a musician if he would listen to his father, okay? Because his father, he didn't want him to write and compose music. He wanted him to just play and get little money for just the performance, okay? Just to be a musician. But Mozart, he decided to just not to listen to his father, and he developed his own style, which is an amazing style. It's still like mind-boggling. I mean, how could even come up with the stuff he came up? It's almost impossible. But he is a representative of the second group. The first one would be just musicians. Musicians would take written, designed, pre-designed, composed already by some other people, and they play that and they can master it to the degree maybe the composer couldn't. But composers, they design stuff, okay? And same applies to wood carving world. You really don't have to be a composer, you don't have to be a designer, you can just master wood carving. But if you want to go to a next step, to next level, not necessarily you're going to become a really good designer, but at least it's going to answer you why the stuff is designed, the way it's designed. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to answer. Let me read a couple messages. Адольф, приветствую вас, очень приятно вас видеть. Очень приятно. John is saying, my furniture teacher said spalting is the front line of the fungus war. That is exactly what I was just trying to say. It is a war. It's a conflict. It's a conflict, constant conflict, until somebody just dries the piece and kills froze the conflict. Design is exactly the same. It's a war. It's a front line. Okay. Every design composition, it still communicates some kind of conflict. So I'm explaining that step by step pretty much. It's going to be available in a video. And I can go really deep with that stuff. I've done that already in one of the classes a few years ago in Mark Adams' school. We did the whole composition, the whole design based on mathematics. That's another thing. Design is just not expressing only war, not only like conflict, but there's a math involved, like Fibonacci sequence and so on. Not only direction, not only golden ratio, not only conflict. There's a Fibonacci sequence, how it works, and so on. And I'm explaining that too. Okay. And I'm explaining space. Hey, what's going to be around that main guy? How you can emphasize? A lot of people don't understand. It's just like in a fine art. You look at the main idea and you don't really see around, but masters, fine artists, they did not put just a subject at the front. They put some stuff around to emphasize the main idea. But what you will communicate with that, because you can put a lot of stuff, especially in wood carving. Is it going to be a big stuff? It's going to be a small stuff surrounding the main idea. And I'm explaining that also in that video. And that's coming up. I still have to edit that. Let me see. Danilo, hello. Good to see you. Bruce, good afternoon to you too. I'm going to see you in July in Mark Adams School. By the way, so you really have to act now. I know Mark Adams School is pretty much sold out, but I don't know. Sometimes some people cancel stuff, and if you want to get there. So now, if you want to go to a beautiful place in Maine, Camden, it's let me show you the website, Maine Coast Workshop. So if you want to go to that place and reserve the spot, now it's the time to act, because we already have multiple people who would take class next year, and the school is really small. Okay, we've got really limited amount of benches right there. Beautiful place, gorgeous place. Okay, we actually haven't took a tour in ocean on a boat, on a yacht actually, after the class. So contact William right away and go on the website, email him, and just to say you want to take my class right now, okay? Because it's really important. Also, contact Tampa, because in Tampa it's also not too many benches. We can take limited amount of people only, okay? Tampa, that would be Tampa School of Woodwork, but I don't have a website right now available. But it's actually, if you can Google Tampa School of Woodwork, I'm gonna be in the next fall, next October. So just to make sure you contact Kate and reserve it. Okay, let me get rid of this. By the way, don't forget to give me some love. All right, that's important. Not that is really important, but still, it is kind of important. That way, I know, I should do what I do. All right. So hope it helps. Let me see what John commented. I am new to design. Are there any books you would recommend? Oh yes, there's actually a lots of books. Lots of books. Most of them really confusing. One of them, well, let me show it to you. Maybe not one, but a couple. Hold on just a second. I'll show it to you. One of them, really good one, I would say, are actually more. I can show you three. I can show you three of them. So, one of them would be this book, okay? So it is Power of Limits. And by the way, if you go to amazon.com/Woodcarver Grabovetskiy, or no, amazon.com/shop/Woodcarver Grabovetskiy, all the books about the design I recommend for the wood carving are going to be there. Okay, so I just place whatever I like. So that is a really good book. It is Power of Limits. So you can kind of get the main idea, but not the whole idea. Okay, even if it's complicated. And that book is actually in the programs of universities, design programs in universities. But it's still, even if it shows the golden ratio right here, it still doesn't gonna answer you why is that really important. Another book is a golden ratio, but it's just the golden ratio. Okay, so that is the book by Gary Meissner. And I mean, beautiful pictures, but you will understand the history of the golden ratio, like Egyptian stuff and whatever the historical idea of the golden ratio. So now, another really good book. It's Mathematics and Art plus Art. It's a kind of thick book, but it's gonna give you really good understanding, the approach of the math and mathematics in design, okay, and so on, which I'm a big, making big deal of it's supposed to be math based. So those books, but there's a lot more books, okay, so there's a lot more books. All right, Vasily. Hello, Alex. I have a question. I'm a fashion designer. Yes, absolutely. Go ahead. Ask me. Okay, ask me any question. Okay, John is saying confusing is a fine, lol. Yes, absolutely. Now, Vasily is asking, hello, Alex. Regarding someone with no experience in wood carving, approximately how long will it take to be able to do the basics? Well, Vasily, it doesn't take long in all to take a gouge or chisel and poke inside of the wood. Okay, the process of carving, it's not the most complicated thing. Understanding the cuts, understanding the depth, the brain, how it reads, works in three-dimensional world, that's the biggest part. But to just the carving process, I mean, take a look what we've done in just 1 week. All right, just like just 1 week ago. Okay, so we were working on that stuff. But just in 1 week, you can pretty much do complicated stuff. Besides, it's not even 1 week. First of all, it was 5 days. All right, let me clear that. Okay, so let me take this out. It's not even 5 days. It was day number 1. I was only explaining the design the whole day, pretty much design and sharpening. That's the main things what we were talking about. Then The whole process took us about 3 days. So by Thursday night, by Thursday about 4 o'clock p.m., most of the people finished about 90% or 95% of work, the wood carving process. On Friday, it was just a cleanup, wood carving, undercutting, cleaning all the faucets and so on. So 3 days and they're already able to carve. That, I mean, right here, that behind piece right here on the wall, I'm not sure if you see that or not. Also just 1 week. Okay, so that this piece right here, it was a class in Mark Adams School in April. This the same, I mean, just this year, 2020, 2020. So that was just the only 1 week, and lots of people never touched the tool. Oh, one of them actually right here, right in the chat, he just said he's going to be back in July. He took that class and he knows, some of the people, he is a carver, okay, he carved before, but there's some people never touched the tool and they were able to carve that. Let me show that closer to you. Okay, so that was Mark Adams' project in 1 week. Okay, 1 week. So like I said, the process of carving is not that complicated. 1 week. What is complicated? To answer why. Understanding. Okay, so it's really important. Knowledge and understanding why you do what you do. All right, so why you expressing the way, why some of the wood carvings looks beautiful and some of them not because of the technique. I mean, you can just be as rough as you wish. I mean, you can leave all the facets, all the tool marks, but it's still gonna look beautiful. And some of the guys actually polish everything and it still doesn't look really nice. I mean, they can sand it to death, they can make some movements, and and it still doesn't look good because the why question, composition, design, I think it's more important than just a skill itself of carving. Okay, yes, skill of carving, it's quick. Okay, I mean, like I said, it's just to take a gouge. I can show you a couple of moves, how to approach it, and you can start polishing it. Of course, longer you invest, in that, if it's hobby, whatever, for me, it's a trade. More proficient you become, you can master it. Longer you work with something, like accordingly to multiple books I read, it takes like about 10,000 hours and you become master in something. It's not necessarily true. I don't believe that is true. I mean, some people take 20,000 and still, look like a child, 6 years old, like I was carving at 6 years old. And some of them just to take the gouge and like in a year they already achieved like they're already working like a masters. Okay, let me see if somebody else asks me anything. Okay, another question. Hi Alex, would you recommend any tool list for people who want to okay, I guess Ingracio online school, just to join my online school. I am from Brazil. I will have to import the tools. It would be nice to have previous recommendation before the import. Yes, I mean, yes, right. That is an excellent question. Again, you can start with just one knife, okay? And start with one of my courses, which is based only on one knife. It's one knife technique. And then you can progress. And I'm talking about the tools I'm using. As far as the brands, in Brazil, probably the most common is a file, Swiss made. Okay, so but you don't have to buy the whole set right away. So just tool by tool, progressing. I promise you, it's gonna take you a while to just even to work with one knife. And I love knives. I work with knives all the time. All of the main cuts, I can pretty much get done with the knife. Okay, hope it answers. Now, James is asking, should a new wood carver or carver focus on learning just one style of carving? There are so many styles and subjects. That is an excellent question. And to answer to you, okay, that is an excellent question, like I said, but it's not simple, okay? Personally, It all depends what you want to achieve. If you love certain style and if you want to express in that style, I think it's better to concentrate on one style at first, and when you feel comfortable with that style, move on the next one. I was just reading a book about how to become a master. It's not the name of the book. The name of the book is Mastery by Robert Greene. And he's actually saying when people concentrating on too many subjects, they cannot master the main idea of one subject. So I would say I agree with him. Just concentrate on one style at first, or whatever resonate with you, whatever you love first, and then once you get the idea, the main idea of that subject, of that style or gist of it, okay, when it becomes like almost innate in you, when you can express yourself in that style, then you move on probably on the next style. But it's again, you can look from opposite side. You really don't know sometimes which style you love. You can ask me what style is the best style to start. I mean, in my personal opinion, you look at historical style, it's the best. Okay, I love historical style and study historical. That is a accurate 16th, end of 15th, beginning of 16th century style, and I'm working on that particular project in that style. Okay, I love it because they spent hundreds of years, and there's a knowledge, understanding, and wisdom behind. So that's why I love the style. Okay, but not necessarily that I don't like other styles. I just think there's a lot more knowledge. But if you don't like that, you can just do any other style. There's a different developments. So you don't have to do the curly style. Okay, simplified style. For example, the church carvers, like Byzantine style. I was showing to you what we were working at school. Byzantine style is really rich and beautiful style, but in the history it took two different directions. Byzantine style on its own completely lost, so we don't have that anymore. But what we do have two groups of people who kept that style, almost kept that style: the Greek Orthodox Church and Russian/Ukrainian Orthodox Church. It still inherited Byzantine style wood carving, but they developed its own movements, somewhat more simplified, I would say. If you look at the modern Orthodox Church carvings, it's still beautiful. You still see the Byzantine style, but it took a different road. So you can study that. I mean, not necessarily, you have to just stick with the old Byzantine. Okay, let me read something. Okay. Now, Vasily, that is brilliant. Sounds that having knowledge regarding design can help. Your work is the most beautiful work I ever seen regarding wood carving, and want to apply it to my garments. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yes, Vasily. Yes, I. Like I said before, design is the gist of everything. It's not only in wood carving. You have to understand the idea. It's not just expressing yourself. I don't believe in. I mean, I can put that even more. Okay, I can put that even in more philosophical, if you wish. When you look at the nature, if you go outside, you walk and see flowers, you see trees, you can see creatures like birds, even the human, and you look how it's designed. Okay, let's say the golden ratio. I do have a calipers right here. Okay, so I do have a calipers right here. Okay, it's a golden ratio caliper. Everything is based on design. When you put those calipers right on the hand, okay, so even the hand itself designed on a golden ratio. I'm not even gonna show you the whole body. If you take that spot, you take the toes, the golden ratio spot gonna be right on the belly button. Okay, everything is designed on the golden ratio. So there's a wisdom behind everything. everything based on mathematics or math. And yes, I do believe intelligent designer. So I call him God creator, and I do believe in the oldest book, of course, on the planet Earth, which in my case would be Bible. And when people don't understand the idea of design and they think they can step outside of those laws, outside of those principles, outside of the laws of creation, and they saying, oh, just express yourself. You don't have to follow the golden ratio. You don't have to follow those Baroque line or sinister line. You don't have to just follow the armature. What is the one of the principles? Oh, you don't have to know those laws and so on. You really actually put yourself on the opposite side of creator. Okay, it's almost like rebellion. Okay, if you wish, without the knowledge. So it's not necessarily you just in rebellion against the creator, but without the knowledge, you actually placing in that position. Okay, so that's why the laws of design is really important. They are really important. So and that's what I'm talking about on my online classes. Okay, so let me see. I hope it answers. Please don't spam, okay, on Facebook. Thank you very much, wonderful. Joseph, hello, Alex. I'm just a beginner in wood carving, and you are something like God of carving. No, I'm not God of carving, okay? What is the most important advice you would give to the beginner? Again, what is the most important advice? You know, the biggest philosopher in the United States, Michael Jordan, said once, quote, just do it. Okay? Here you go, just to get the knife and start carving. By the way, I want to tell you one more time. I know I said that multiple times, but I really want to emphasize that more. When I'm teaching in person, most of the people I teach, they older than me. And one of the biggest fears, it's dementia, losing memory. Okay? One of the ways you can kind of slow down that process of losing memory is wood carving. And I know that for a fact. When you work in three-dimensional world, you actually develop new cells. Neurons, they start acting again. They communicate and your brain revives. Okay, I'm not a medical expert. I'm not doctor. I'm not saying that it's gonna prevent you 100% and you're not gonna have that dementia and loss of memory. But at least you can do something and keep your brain working. Okay, your brain's still gonna produce new cells when you're carving, and when you're carving, you're working in 3D. All right, so that is one of the advices, I guess. If you want to carve, ask yourself why you want to carve. If it's a long goal, it's not just a hobby, an expression of artistic abilities. It's actually, gonna set you for life. So you're gonna be smarter. In the Bible, a woodcarver called a wise man. Okay, he filled with the Spirit of God, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's from the Bible, Exodus 31. If you want to read it, verse 5. Okay, and yes, the woodcarver he called wise man. Okay, so let me read. Jan is saying there is a shortage of file knives in UK. I found that Petrograd Russian knives, I guess, are pretty cheap here and nicely designed for carving. Have you tried them? No, I never tried those. Okay, I never tried those. I know I do have some Russian tools. I'm not going to mention the brand for some reason. So, for example, this gouge is made in Russia. One of the best steels I ever tried. Okay, I'm not going to advertise that brand because they're not available worldwide. It's the steel. The steel itself is just gorgeous. What they do. Okay. Uh, but you in UK, you have other tools. You have Ashley Isles. You have Henry Taylor. Those tools, excellent tools. And matter of fact, Ashley Isles is my favorite, the number one brand, I would say. It's the one of the go tools. Okay, Ashley Isles. Right. Let me see who else. Hope it answers. James is saying golden ratio, the science of creation, and you are absolutely correct. But it's the only one small part in the whole design world. It's only one of the laws, and even golden ratio divides it in multiple laws. Okay, like I said, in any composition, there's the 4 spots you can call golden ratio. 4, which one of them is the main guy. So there's a law of golden ratio, but besides, there's a law of the main guy, or the main idea, the main spot, the main, I mean, even the golden ratio. It's called golden ratio, golden cut, golden section, golden point, and that's all based on the golden ratio, but still golden cut is a cut, golden spot is a spot, okay? So let me see the next question. You are right, many people, creativity was stunned by the do whatever you like approach to art at school. Yes, and that's wrong, okay? Okay, wonderful people. I think it is enough for me today. So I still have to do a lot of work. I still have to carve. Don't forget, if you like what you see, please don't forget to give me some like. I mean, just that thumbs up below. Why is that important? Not really, I do care. I mean, I don't even need to do that, but it helps, I guess, algorithm. A lot more people will discover. So don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed, if you're new right here. I forgot to mention that my name is Alexander Grabovetskiy and I'm a woodcarver. Oh, by the way, I forgot to brag a little bit. I did that yesterday on Facebook. Let me show something to you before I go. And by the way, if you have an Instagram or Facebook, hold on just a second, let me find it. Follow me. It would be Woodcarver Grabovetskiy. Pinterest, the same, Woodcarver Grabovetskiy. Just follow me, okay? Just follow me. But in the latest issue of Woodcarving magazine in England, and it's actually available all around the world, like 80 countries. Yesterday, one person sent me a picture from Australia, Sydney. He said, Alex, I just bought a new copy of Carving magazine, and guess what? Whom I found? And let me find it. I was featured in that magazine, if I can find it somewhere. Hold on just a second. Hold on just a second, wonderful people. I am somewhere right there. But anyway, I am right there somewhere, okay? So in a Carving magazine, right? Just in a Carving magazine. Where is it? Well, I don't know. I don't know where is that. Somewhere right in the middle. I'm pretty sure you saw that. If you... Oh, it's actually excellent magazine for the wood carving. Not gonna brag. I'm sorry. You find that on your own. Thank you very much, wonderful people. All right. Thank you very much. So I'm gonna wrap up. Have a wonderful day. Let me know if you like to see more of me. I mean, if you're tired of me showing up on the live streams, just let me know. If you like more, let me know, and I'll try to connect more often. Thank you for your advice, great teacher. Thank you very much, John. I really do appreciate every comment. I really do appreciate every comment. It's just like really important for me. Okay, let me finish up. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.